At the 2004 Big 12 Gymnastics Championships, the University of Oklahoma captured its first conference championship since 1993. This year, the Sooners, led by Aaron Labar, will expect a greater challenge. The number 4 ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers, with 2003 all-around champion Rochelle Simpson, will try to get back the title. Iowa State, with Janet Anson, Laura K. Powell, and Aaron Detloff, will pose a challenge, as will Missouri, which will contend as well. The 2005 Big 12 Gymnastics Championships are next. It's springtime in Soonerland, Norman, Oklahoma, and with the dawning of the spring season, that means it's championship season in women's gymnastics. Here at the Lloyd Noble Center, it's the 2005 Big 12 Championships, where the Oklahoma Sooners in their home arena look to defend their Big 12 Conference Championship. And welcome to the Big 12 Women's Gymnastics Championships. Bill Jones along with John Roethlisberger. Oklahoma was a winner a year ago, but it was as close a competition as you could ever have. Probably no different this year. 3 of the top 10 teams in the country are here, John.
I guarantee it will be a tight competition again this year. 3 teams in the top 10, Nebraska, Iowa State, and Oklahoma. And don't count on Missouri. They're going to be right in the mix, too.
Well, Nebraska ranked 4th in the country coming into this weekend's meet. Now, last year, they were missing Rochelle Simpson, who was the 2003 all-around national champion. She's back this year.
She is back, and she is back with a vengeance. She is dominating the Big 12 standings, and she leads an incredibly tough Nebraska Cornhusker team. They will be favored tonight. The Iowa State Cyclones are led by a trio of dynamic all-arounders, Laura K. Powell, Aaron Detloff, and Janet Anson. Any one of those 3 athletes could contend for the all-around title and most likely will lead that team to a potential conference championship. Aaron Labar will lead the Oklahoma Sooners. She has been the model of consistency for Coach Nuno, and ironically enough, she was a freshman walk-on. Alicia Robinson will lead the Missouri Tigers, and the Missouri Tigers could be the surprise of this competition. They are ranked at the bottom of the Big 12 standings, but crazier things have happened, Bill, and that's exactly why this competition takes place on the floor and not on a piece of paper.
Well, the competition is about to begin, but to get things started, how about the lowdown, John, on just how this event works and particularly how the scoring works?
Well, there are 4 rotations because there are 4 apparatus. There will be 6 gymnasts per team, per apparatus, with the top 5 scores counting. There will be 50 points per rotation possible, with a 200 total points possible for each team.
Okay, John, this is the way things start out in the first rotation. The 4 teams involved. Oklahoma will start on vault, Iowa State on bars, Nebraska on beam, and Missouri with the floor exercise. Nebraska, you would have to think, John, the team to beat, ranked 4th in the country. As close as it is, though, Michelle Zabawa gets them started here on beam.
And I do not envy her one bit. It's tough to start off on any event in gymnastics because you're so nervous. There's so much pressure at the beginning of the competition. But to start out on balance beam has got to be the worst place to start. But on the other hand, if Nebraska can get through this event well, they will be set up nicely for the rest of the competition.
Michelle Zabawa, the 5'1" sophomore from Omaha, Nebraska.
Little wobble on that layout step out. Not a big deduction. Really important, especially these first couple girls hit. It takes a little bit of that pressure off the girls later in the lineup.
The beam 16 feet long, 4 feet high, only 4 inches wide.
And you get a great perspective from this camera angle of how wide that beam really is. I mean, it's pretty much the width of her foot, maybe a little wider, but the stuff she's doing on it is not meant to be done on a 4-inch wide surface.
If you have those pre-meet jitters, this may not be the event you want to start on, but there is Zabawa on beam.
And that's a solid start. You know, it's not going to be a huge score, but that's what Nebraska needs. They just need a couple hits to get the ball rolling. Here's a great view of her feet on this beam, and I tell you what, just walk across that thing once and you'll realize how tough it is.
No thanks. If it's on the ground, I'll walk across it.
Here's the dismount. It's a gainer with a full twist. Relatively easy dismount, a safe dismount. Small deduction on the landing.
Now let's move over to Iowa State. And Iowa State ranked in the top 10 of the country, number 9, Casey Oenis. The 5'4" junior from Henderson, Nevada, is up on uneven bars right now.
And this is a gymnast she's very clean. She's going to get up there, and she's very consistent, very clean. She might not do some of the difficulty that some of the other athletes do, but they're counting on her to hit a clean set and give them a score that they can build on, that the Powells and Ansons and Detlofs can put up the 9.9s and 9.95s on top of.
In fact, Powell, Anson, and Detloff will go 4, 5, and 6 for Iowa State in their lineup here on bars.
And don't diminish the importance of these routines. And you remember last year, Iowa State lost by .025, and you can pick that up in the first routine or the last routine of the meet. The full pirouette, straddle back to the low bar. You'll see a lot of great releases on bars throughout tonight's competition. That's full pirouette. As you can see, very few deductions for the judges to take a clean double tuck dismount. Not very difficult, but again, it's a hit routine. She should score a decent score, and that will be one to build on.
A hug from KJ Kindler, the Iowa State coach, and Casey Oenis gets things started for Iowa State.
Here's another look at her dismount. It's a double tuck. You do an easy dismount like that, you better stick it. She had a little slide of that foot. I'm sure the judges saw that.
Now one of the top Nebraska Cornhuskers on balance beam. This is Jamie Sauce, the 5'2 senior from Aurora, Illinois.
And Nebraska started off well on beam, not great. They had 2 hit routines before Jamie went, but there were some wobbles and not very big scores, so they need to step it up.
Nebraska coach Dan Kindig says Jamie Sauce has the potential to make the NCAA finals in balance beam.
She is a very enjoyable gymnast to watch. There's a front flip. Very difficult skill in balance beam. It's difficult to see that landing when you're flipping forward like that. She's got great style, great execution. Full turn. Looks simple, but trust me, in this competition, nothing is simple.
She finished second here at the Big 12 Championships 2 years ago, tied for 5th last year in this event.
There's a leap combination that fulfills the requirement on beam. After a series flip-flop layout, full twist dismount, very nice combination into that full twist dismount. That was a good routine. That'll score much better than the 2 preceding gymnasts.
So smiles all around for the Nebraska Cornhuskers after Jamie Sauce does this on balance beam.
And there's the view of the front flip, and you can see how she's coming around, and her feet hit the beam before she actually sees it. Another look at the dismount layout, step out to a full twist, and that's kind of a sneaky little way to put the layout step out in there, because you go right into the dismount. It makes it difficult to fall off. You're actually falling off already. You just do the dismount right after it. It's very smart coaching.
Now Laura K. Powell back on uneven bars for the Iowa State Cyclones. The Canadian Laura K. Powell, one of the top contributors on this Cyclone team.
And she's going to have to contribute big time right here because Iowa State already has had a fall on this event. That means the next mistake will count towards their team score. So she's got to hit. She's got to hit well.
And there's 6 competitors for each team. They take the top 5 scores. So no room for error for Laura K. Powell.
And there was no error. Stuck the dismount. Exactly what a veteran needs to do after a mistake. Another look at the full twist over the bar, right to the double tuck dismount. An easy dismount, but the veteran sticks the landing. Nice job.
More of the Big 12 Women's Gymnastics Championships from Norman, Oklahoma on FSN in a moment. 5 Big 12 Gymnastics Championships on FSN are brought to you by Dr. Pepper, by Cooper Tires, and by Chick-fil-A. Aaron Detloff, the Iowa State Cyclone, back here at the Big 12 Women's Gymnastics Championships. And you talk about someone the Cyclones are counting on. Aaron Detloff, she came through in a big way last year, trying to do it again this year.
And she's already had a mistake. She was supposed to do a full twist over the bar at the beginning of that routine. She did not make it. She did a nice job of ad-libbing, but it's going to cost her a deduction. She has a huge dismount here. She usually does a full twisting double layout. Great dismount, however, a big step on the landing. They are going to be very disappointed with their start. Iowa State is capable of going big on uneven bars, and they had a couple routines there that are certainly going to cost them.
Especially for Aaron Detloff, who tied for first, won a Big 12 title last year in this event, the uneven bars.
And there was another look at that dismount. You can see a full twisting double layout, very difficult, but a costly 10th or 2 on that landing. And right now, I guarantee you, Coach Kindler is telling them to regroup. It's a long meet. It ain't over.
Well, this is Bunny Schwartzman. Lauren Schwartzman from San Antonio, Texas, 4'11 junior. She was one of the stars for the Missouri Tigers last year. So we check out the floor exercise.
Yeah, she's a lot of fun to watch. Nice double pike on the mount. She really works the crowd.
Lauren Schwartzman, who is a two-time All-American cheerleader in high school, Alamo Heights High School in San Antonio, Texas.
Comes the second pass. It's a combination pass. Very nice. A whip half Brandy to a layout step out. Beautiful execution. You can tell the difference between a great floor worker and an average one. She's really working the crowd. She's performing. She's not just going through the motions.
And that's a big deal on the floor exercise, isn't it?
Absolutely. The judges need to see a gymnast out there make it look easy. And when you're smiling like she is and dancing and working it like that, it looks like it's no big deal for you. If you look like you're struggling, the judges are going to take a deduction. I guarantee it.
The judges are human, too.
All those impressions make a difference. Comes a dismount. Nice double tuck. Easily pulls that around. Missouri is doing a nice job on floor. They could be in a good spot after this first rotation.
Well, they really count on Schwartzman and also Alicia Robinson, and Bunny Schwartzman gets them off to a good start here on the floor exercise. High fives all around for the Tigers. Let's take a look at Bunny here.
And here's the dismount, the double tuck. It's one of the tougher dismounts. You're going to see very few of the athletes doing double flipping dismounts, and she does it really easily.
She has a good time out there, too.
Absolutely.
All right, now the Nebraska Cornhuskers on balance beam in this first rotation, and this is one of the stars of this show. It figures to be anyway. Rochelle Simpson, the 5'1 senior from Toronto.
And we talked about how important balance beam was for the Nebraska team score, but if Rochelle gets through a great routine here, it's going to be tough to knock her off the top of the podium. Beautiful combination there, not even so much as the smallest of wobbles. And she just looks really assertive when she's up there. She's not questioning anything. She's moving very deliberately through her routine.
Simpson was out with a knee injury a year ago. Nebraska really missed her. Has come back this year and is at the top of her game in the national rankings and basically every apparatus.
Yeah, she really has. She's actually 7th in the nation on this piece of equipment, which is saying something because it is definitely the toughest one. Full turn right on. One thing about the beam is you can think you are on your game, and at any moment you can fall, so you got to concentrate from beginning to end. Just a dismount left. There's a double twist. It's all about the landing. Just a small foot movement on the landing. That's going to score very well, and she's following up a good score that went right before her, too. So this should be right around a 9-9, maybe higher.
This was, of course, the 2003 Big 12 champion in the balance beam, making a bid to do it again in 2005.
And there was her dismount again. Nice job from Rochelle.
So Rochelle Simpson off to a good start in the first rotation for the Huskers on the difficult apparatus, the balance beam. Alicia Robinson for the Missouri Tigers on the floor exercise. Alicia Robinson is one that the Tigers are really counting on.
And this is where she shines. This is her best event. Watch this first pass. The ceilings might not be high enough for this one. It's a double layout, and it's big. Beautiful double layout, and just stays in bounds. She actually was a power tumbler before she attended the University of Missouri, and she was a world-ranked power tumbler, and you can tell by that first pass.
Ranked number 23 in the nation.
1.5 twist punch, Branny, beautiful. You can see the height on that leap out of that pass, too. Huge. And she is working it, too, a little bit, like her teammate, Lauren.
Pretty good 1-2 punch for the Tigers, and Schwartzman followed up by Alicia Robinson here.
Definitely, and they're building a big score here at the end of the rotation. Little short on that, and that's probably her easiest pass. I know she's not happy with how that one finished. But overall, a very good routine. Should be right in that 9-9 range.
Well, she had a 9-9 last year, finished tied for second in the floor exercise here.
Here's her second combination pass, and look at that. She is above the judge's head. That should be bonus right there.
So Alicia Robinson, the Missouri Tiger, with a 9-8 in the floor exercise. Here in the first rotation, the defending champion Oklahoma Sooners on vault, and this is Kristen Cox.
And she starts off with a very nicely done Yurchenko full twist, a 10-0 start value, scored well, 9.825.
The Sooners trying to make an early impression here, and this is Brittany Konchak.
She does a difficult vault to Yurchenko with a half twist, a blind landing, but done very, very well. And again, another great score, 9.85.
The sophomore from San Antonio, Texas, Konchak, and now Ashley Cooney.
And she shows why she is one of the 10 best gymnasts in the country on this event. A beautifully stretched out Yurchenko full.
Cool customer Ashley Cooney, a 9.875. So the defending champions doing their best early for Coach Steve Nuno. That's it for the first rotation. Rotation 2 when we come back to Norman. Yes, there is some artwork on campus, John Roethlisberger. That is the Peacemaker on the North Oval.
You are really well schooled. I'm impressed.
Well, I went to school here, so that's how I know these things, I guess. The standings here at the Big 12 Gymnastics Championships. After one rotation, Missouri has the lead.
That's a surprise, an early lead for the biggest underdog in the meet. We'll have to see if that can hold up.
And as far as the individual all-around competition through one rotation, Ashley Cooney of Oklahoma leading the way.
A little bit of a surprise there, although we knew she'd be in the mix, but there's Rochelle Simpson right on her heels.
Time for the second rotation now here, and Missouri moves over to vault. OU will be on bars. Iowa State on balance beam, and the floor exercise is Nebraska. And it will be for the Huskers, Christy Esposito leading things off as Nebraska tries to continue what it was able to do on the balance beam in the first rotation.
Yeah, they had a nice start. They got the gauntlet, as I like to call it, out of the way, the balance beam, and they've got to be feeling good about themselves. Got some good scores under their belt, and now they're going to the floor exercise, which, according to Coach Kendig, is their best event, and you're going to see some huge tumbling here.
4'10" sophomore from Slidell, Louisiana, Christy Esposito.
We saw her compete last year, do a nice job for Nebraska, even though they ended up 4th place, and I'm sure they're looking to move up this year. Nice double pike. Pretty clean. Little hop on that landing.
Esposito performed well as a freshman last year for Nebraska in a couple of different events, especially in the uneven bars. Here in the floor exercise, trying to hold her own as well.
Second pass, another double flip, double tuck. Looks like she was working that a little in the air, but it landed it just fine. And this is a routine that it's important for Nebraska to get this hit out of the way, but ideally in a perfect world, they won't count her score because they have some huge tumblers coming up after her that should build on this score if everybody's hitting.
But it's an added bonus for Nebraska if she can perform well in what is not necessarily her specialty.
Oh, absolutely. If she can put up a 9.75 or maybe even a 9.8, the rest of the girls can kind of look at that and say, well, there's a little safety cushion for it. Good start for Nebraska.
Christy Esposito.
Here's the last pass again. It's a combination pass. Front layout to a front full. Little slide on the landing, but overall very clean. Nebraska just taking care of business. Going through and doing their job.
Well, Iowa State trying to bounce back here in the second rotation, and this just may be the person to do it for the Cyclones is Janet Anson on balance beam.
And I'll be honest, they really put themselves in a bad spot. They started off on bars, an event that they should do really well on and get a high score, and now after having those mistakes, it just compounds the pressure of going to the second event, the balance beam. But if anybody can put it together, it's this girl. She is one of the top all-arounders in this competition, and she has got to be feeling the pressure right now. Front summy.
Anson, a sophomore from Kansas City, Missouri, was the Big 12 Newcomer of the Year last year as a freshman.
The flop layout, she's off. You could see it right away. Right when she did that back handspring, you could see she was off to the side. And once she went for that layout, it was all over. This is absolutely catastrophic for the Iowa State Cyclones. And that takes care of Janet Anson's possibility of being the all-around champion. We talked about her early before this competition started, and she just took herself instantly out of the running right there. And she's got to be careful. You can tell she's still a little tense. Any mistake here on out just compound the problem, so she's got to regroup.
But she is very strong in the vault, the bars, and the floor exercise. And the balance beam was what cost her last year. She only scored a 9.25 last year in the balance beam.
And she will be lucky to get that this year. She really looked tense up there. That is really unfortunate for the Cyclones. Let's take another look at that mistake. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it from here, but she's off to that right away. And if you're off, I mean, there's nothing to grab. It's over.
And what's that feeling like for a gymnast?
Oh, obviously I didn't compete beam, but I can tell you what, you start falling and it is so helpless.
Critics are calling the Best Damn Sports Show a 90-minute frat party with irreverent interviews and sharp locker room banter. The Best Damn Sports Show, period. Check local listings. It's only on Fox Sports Net. All right, let's check out the Oklahoma Sooners in their home arena here. This is Ashley Cooney, the 5'4" sophomore from Plano, Texas. As here in the second rotation, Oklahoma is on the uneven bars.
And she's got a great bar team. A nice release right here. It's called the Ginger. Perfectly done. Feet glued together. As a high school gymnast, she was actually coached by an American great, Kurt Thomas, before she went to OU. Got a difficult dismount coming up here, too. There's a blind change. Watch this double front. Perfectly done. Coach Nuno is on fire again this year. Could it be a repeat? Take a look at this dismount again. Again, a frontward flipping skill like this. It's very hard to land, but you wouldn't know it by watching her. Sticks it like it's nothing.
1 month ago, she sprained an ankle. It was a high ankle sprain, and Ashley Cooney is back. Still more of the Big 12 Women's Gymnastics Championships from Norman in a moment. The 2005 Big 12 Gymnastics Championships here in Norman, Oklahoma. The homestanding Oklahoma Sooners of Coach Steve Nuno in his 5th year at the helm of the Sooners. Go back about 4 years ago, and Steve Nuno discovered a gymnast who has been contributing now for 4 years, and it was in a very unusual way that he discovered Erin Labar.
This phantom email came, and I said, who are you? You know, who is anybody? And when she walked into the gym, I knew just from her size that she was capable. And I knew that because she was still in pretty good shape that, you know, she wanted to do sports or athletics of some sort. So to see her come from that point in her life to loving the sport again and having a career that she's had. It's just, it's really fulfilling as a coach to see her accomplish the things that she's accomplished.
That's the beauty of college gymnastics, is that you get opportunities to athletes that wouldn't normally get a chance to compete. I remember many great gymnasts that walked on in Minnesota where I competed that had that chance, and it's a beautiful thing.
Erin LaBar has been through so much, going back to high school. The only walk-on in Oklahoma history to become an All-American.
From walk-on to leader, and that is a beautiful reverse hack. OU is really rolling. Erin LaBar is in the fire too. She's got to keep it going. Big dismount, double layout, perfect landing.
And the home fans love it. Well, the Oklahoma Sooners making a run at the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Rochelle Simpson, though, the 2003 Big 12 Gymnast of the Year. She's on floor exercise. And let's just say she is very nice on floor exercise.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that anybody can get better than some of the girls who went up earlier for Nebraska, but she does. There's another double layout. And just to give you an idea of how difficult that is, it wasn't that long ago that there was very few people in the world doing double layouts, and here Nebraska has about 3 in one rotation doing it.
Just to give you an idea of how strong Rochelle Simpson is, especially right now in the floor exercise, her last meet, the Arkansas Quadrangular, she finished first, a perfect 10 score.
And she is well on her way to another one right here, and she's going to need it because OU is rocking the uneven bars, and Nebraska's going to have to keep pace. OU had a slight lead over Missouri and Nebraska after rotation number 1.
So OU was on vault. Now Nebraska in the floor exercise. A 10 score by Simpson was her 8th career perfect 10. And she was the 2003 national champion in the floor exercise.
She's got a very difficult dismount. Probably the most difficult dismount being done in this competition. Whip back, through to a double pike.
Wow.
Didn't look this difficult the way she did it.
Rochelle Simpson from Toronto, the senior, with an extra year of eligibility after the knee injury last year and making the most of it.
Here's her big double layout. You can see in the air, perfect form, feet are together, toes are pointed. The judge is even smiling if you look in the background. Here's the last pass. It's called a whip back handspring, double pike. Again, toes pointed. I don't know if we're going to see a 10, but it's going to be very, very close.
Strong performance by Rochelle Simpson, the Nebraska Cornhusker. All right, back to the beam now, and this is Iowa State's Laura K. Powell.
Again, Laura Kay is a leader on this team, and if they've ever needed a leader, it's right here. They really need to finish strong on this event. It's not over. They are behind, but it certainly is not over for this team.
Well, Simpson, for Nebraska, a Canadian, and so is Laura K. Powell. She's from Ottawa.
From the flip-flop layout. Ooh, and just a little off to her left there, but she managed to stay on. And Iowa State has overcome a lot of adversity this year. They've had a flu epidemic go through their team. A number of the girls missed weeks of practice, a number of injuries. And here they are in the Big 12, and they just created themselves another obstacle to overcome. And so if they've trained themselves for anything, it's to overcome obstacles, and they're going to have to do it right here. Very difficult side summy. It's tough for those girls to land those side summies because they're used to seeing the beam in front of them when they land, and they don't see anything except the blue mat. There's your dismount, a gainer full off the side, and great job for the junior. Exactly what Iowa State needed. Another look at the dismount. It's a relatively easy dismount, but when you do all the difficult stuff on the equipment, sometimes, you just want to get off.
Laura K. Powell with a 9.825 in the beam, just off her mark last year when she finished second in the balance beam. Here in the second rotation, Bunny Schwartzman and the Missouri Tigers on vault. Check out Bunny.
Nice job from Bunny, 9.775. A good start for Missouri. Good score to build on.
And the Tigers have a freshman in Ashley Kadarian. Let's see how she does on vault.
She's got a little bit different vault, a handspring pike front half. A couple hops on that landing, but she builds with a 9.8.
So 9.8 for the freshman, and now the senior, Alicia Robinson.
The Big 12 champ shows why. A huge Yurchenko laid out with a full twist, 9.925. Awesome vault, the best one of the night.
That's right, she has the lead, bidding for a second straight vault Big 12 title. We're through 2 rotations, the 3rd rotation when we come back. The Sooners enjoying a spring day here in Norman, Oklahoma. Welcome back to the 2005 Big 12 Championships. And Sooner women's gymnastics fans are enjoying what they are seeing through the first half of these championships, but we still got half the meet to go. Oklahoma doing so far so good.
Yeah, it is a battle up on the top. You know, Oklahoma, a little bit of a surprise to see them there early, but Nebraska's nipping at their heels. The surprise to me is Iowa State. They are out of it after 2 events, it seems, already.
Well, the Sooners trying to defend their crown, and after 2 rotations, these are the numbers. It is very close, and we said at the outset it would be very close. John.
Yeah, it is very close. 1/10 between first and second, but 9/10 of a point. Iowa State's already back from first. 9/10 of a point is a lot to make up in 2 events. They have their work cut out for them.
So Iowa State will try to come back in the final 2 rotations. Now, as far as the individual all-around competition, it is the senior from Nebraska. No surprise there, Rochelle Simpson leading the way, but it, too, is very close.
It's ridiculous how close it is. You have the top 5 athletes all within less than 1/10 of a point. We're talking 1 step on a landing is separating 5 athletes. That is just ridiculous. That is a stacked lineup right there.
Time for the 3rd rotation now here at the 2005 Big 12 Championships, and Nebraska moves over to vault. Missouri will be on bars, Oklahoma to beam, and Iowa State with the floor exercise here in rotation number 3. One of the newcomers for the Missouri Tigers, we've talked about Alicia Robinson, a senior, Lauren Schwartzman, a junior. This is a freshman, Ashley Kadarian.
And Missouri has a young team, and they really didn't gel till later in the year. Nice reverse head. And Coach Rob Graff said it took them a while to kind of get on the same page, and once they did, they started clicking. And so far, we can see that they are. Big dismount, double layout, not quite as clean as we saw from some of the other athletes, but a great start for Missouri.
Ashley Kadarian out of Carlisle, Massachusetts.
Take another look at the dismount here. The double layout is very difficult. You can see right at the beginning, feet come apart there. That should be 1/10 off, but first girl up, let me tell you, that's a tough routine for the first girl to start with.
Rob Drass, the Missouri coach, in his 6th year with the Tigers, longtime assistant at Nebraska, and one of the reasons he's excited about the future at Missouri is this gal. Well, things interesting here in the 3rd rotation for the Oklahoma Sooners, and Kristen Cox on beam. It's a tough apparatus for a lot of schools. Let's see how the Sooners do with Kristen Cox, one of their veterans. She's a junior from Memphis, Tennessee.
And this will be very interesting because talking to Steve Nuno before the meeting, he said he's generally taken a fairly conservative approach to competitions this year. He's been more concerned about hitting routines than doing a lot of difficulty. And this will be a routine that could go 1 of 2 ways. She's got a couple different options and a couple different acrobatic series she can do. One's a little bit more risky, one's a little more conservative, and OU is in the lead right now. So let's see what kind of game plan Steve Nuno has up his sleeve. So he did a very simple mount, and it's nice to just get on the piece of equipment. When it's the balance beam, you don't want to mess around and be tricky. Just get up there. And here's the series I was talking about. And that was a flip-flop to a layout. And she's capable of doing 3 acrobatic elements in a row, and she did play the conservative route. See if it pays off. Nice loop combination there. A little wobble.
Last year in the beam, Kristen Cox performed for just the 2nd time during the season at the Big 12 Championships, and she came up with a 9.8 score, and Steve Nuno says that was a key to their overall victory a year ago.
And let's see if history repeats itself. This is it's a conservative routine, as we said, but it's so far very, very clean. Nice straddle jump, straddle jump. Just the dismount. Round off double twist. 1/10 on that landing. Great job for Cox. OU is rolling.
Solid performance, Kristen Cox.
Another look at the dismount here. Double twist. Really, the only thing she could have done better is stick that landing. And they should be happy. They're moving.
Now Alicia Robinson, the Missouri Tiger, on uneven bars.
And she's very good on bars, and she does the Ginger also. Little foot brake on that catch and almost sent that kip cast handstand over the bar. Little flat on that full over to a pack salto. Every 10th counts in a tight competition like this, and it's going to be a big dismount, double layout. A great landing. Missouri, she's got a sigh of relief. She knew she was on the edge on a couple of those skills and managed to stay on. That's the kip cast handstand. She almost went the wrong way. Full pirouette. That was a little flat, and that's called a pack salto. Very tricky to spot that right onto that low bar. Getting ready for the dismount. We've seen a lot of double layouts off bars tonight. This is one of the better ones. Little foot form in the air, but overall that was a very good routine for Alicia.
More of the Big 12 Women's Gymnastics Championships from Norman, Oklahoma on FSN in a moment. Welcome back to the 2005 Big 12 Gymnastics Championships. Ashley Cooney, the Oklahoma Sooner, in her home arena here at the Lloyd Noble Center in Norman on beam.
And Cooney is a great athlete, but she has a little more pressure on her than she normally would on this beam routine. The teammate who went right before her had a fall, and as we talked about, you can only afford to have one fall per rotation. They've gotten their fall out of the way, so they got to hit the rest of the way.
There are 6 performers for each team, and they take the top 5 scores. So no room for error here for Ashley Cooney.
Yep, they are going to want to drop Konchak's score. She went right before Cooney. So far, this is a very good routine. And she just looks very calm. Look on her face. Seems to have no stress. And just as I say that, she has a break on that. She was not supposed to go under the balance beam. As much of a break as that was, I'm amazed she was able to stay on.
Does it help her score that she stayed on?
She literally did a pull-up on the side of the beam. It should be some bonus points, but unfortunately, I don't think the judges are going to look at it that way.
I thought, well, that's a unique maneuver.
Double back, a very difficult dismount. Unfortunately, a step forward on the landing. They got to be pleased she stayed on, but unfortunately, that's going to hurt.
Take another look, Ashley Cooney here.
And really, this isn't an easy skill, but this mistake it's very unusual. I know she's going to be kicking herself later on, especially when she sees that replay, but I got to give her credit. A lot of gymnasts would have fallen completely off the balance beam.
The Iowa State Cyclones trying to climb back into things, and it's up to Laura K. Powell here on floor exercise.
And she can get them back on track for sure. She's a great tumbler. She did have a sprained ankle earlier in the season, which did slow her a little bit on this event, but she should be pretty close to 100%. This is a front through. Double pike. Done well. And she gets a little sassy in her floor routine, a little bluesy.
Yeah, how about the music here from Laura K. Powell?
It's a little bit of a change of pace. I like it. A lot of the other girls are pretty high energy, and she just kind of gets into it. I like it. Another double back.
Laura K. Powell has had success in the past in the floor exercise. In fact, last year, she was a regional champion for Iowa State. Finished second at the Big 12 meet in Des Moines a year ago.
And so far, this is a great performance. Again, trying to work their way back up the standings. They were in 4th place coming into this rotation. It's going to be a big uphill climb. Last pass. Very clean combination. Whip, half punch, front full. Nice performance.
Nice finish from Laura K. Powell from Ottawa, Canada for the Iowa State Cyclones. Another look.
Here's the first pass. Front through. There's a double pike. Just a small step on the landing, but probably not even a deduction. And here's the last pass. It's the combination. She does a whip back with a half twist to immediate punch front full. Makes it look easy, but it isn't really that easy.
So Laura K. Powell in Iowa State, a 9.75 on the floor exercise. Sunday, get caught in the action as the world's greatest bass fishermen compete with the top amateurs in a weekly tour with over $7 million in prizes on the line. It's FLW Outdoors this Sunday on FSN. Check local listings for the start time in your area. The Oklahoma Sooners had the lead at the halfway point of this meet, but Erin Labar here on balance beam trying to regroup because the team has not performed well on beam so far.
And she's going to need her career best this year at 9.925 to get them back on track. This is a good event for her. She's got a lot of difficulty. Again, she's also still in the hunt for the all-around title as well. Oh, and that's giving away tenths again. That's going to be at least 1/10 off.
Erin Labar ranked number 13 in the nation in this event.
There's a nice back handspring to a layout step out, done perfectly. Anytime you have a wobble on beam, it seems like every skill you do after it just gets that, the intensity just gets amplified that much more, gets that much more difficult.
Seems like every mistake is more pronounced on beam.
It is. It definitely, when you only have 4 inches to stand on, every error it definitely gets amplified quite a bit. And she's got a very difficult dismount, the most difficult dismount being done in this competition.
A deep breath, and here it is.
Double back. It's just a small hop on the landing, but when you're doing a dismount that tough, you kind of get away with one there with that hop.
Well, let's take another look at the dismount.
The round off takes a very accurate punch on the end of that beam to make that. He does it very well. Steve Nuno, her coach, is pleased.
A 9.875 for Erin Labar. 4 of the Big 12 Women's Gymnastics Championships from Norman, Oklahoma on FSN in a moment. Under the lights inside the Lloyd Noble Center, welcome back to the 2005 Women's Gymnastics Championships Big 12 style. Now let's go to the floor exercise, and this is Erin Detloff.
She's capable of a big score, as you just saw. She's gotten a 9.95 here earlier this season. And OU is making a little bit of a room there for Iowa State if they can step up. This is a big mount. Double pike. Does it well, and actually she's capable of doing a whip back to an immediate double pike. But she did not do it there. Maybe playing it a little bit conservative. There's a whip half to a 1.5 twist punch front. Again, changing directions like we saw from her teammate earlier. Trying to get a little energy back in the Cyclone squad. If you can get energy back into your team anywhere, it would be the floor exercise.
Her best score of the year came her last time out in the floor exercise. Well, Iowa State's had a terrific year, especially at home. They did not lose at home this year.
And that includes a win over Nebraska as well. Nice 3-flip combination pass, layout to a tuck front. Nice job for Erin. That will help. That will help Iowa State, especially while Oklahoma is having a little trouble on balance beam. Take a look at this last pass again. You're seeing more and more of these in gymnastics, these combination passes at the layout front to a layout front to a tuck front. She makes it look easy, but trust me, when you land on the floor and you're looking at the ceiling, it's tough.
The third rotation continues here, and for the Iowa State Cyclones, their last performer on the floor exercise is Janet Anson.
It'll be very interesting to see what she does for her first pass. She's capable of a full twisting double back, but she may water it down, and she does. Just does a double back. Talking to the coaching staff before the meet, evidently she's got a bad back, and it really bothers her on the floor. But she's still going to start from a 10-0. That just shows how good she is on this apparatus. I'm just mad because I wanted to see the full twisting double back. 2.5 twist punch front. Very, very difficult combination.
She doesn't look like she has a bad back to me.
And actually, you know, they talked about sending her to get it checked out, and she said, no, I want to go. I want to compete. I'm not messing around. She's a tough girl.
She has 5 first-place finishes in the floor exercise throughout this 2005 season for Iowa State.
She's very highly ranked in the country in this event as well. She's 10th currently.
She was second-team All-American in this event last year, too.
There's a combination pass. Again, very difficult. Made it look simple. This is going to score very, very good. Even without the more difficult mount, that will score nicely.
Janet Anson, the sophomore from Kansas City, Missouri.
She's excited. Take a look at this last pass. It's a 3-flip pass again. The whip half to a front full to a punch front. Perfect. Lou, the coach in the background, is very pleased, as he should be. Iowa State regrouped nicely on floor exercise.
Yeah, especially Janet Anson. She had a difficult time on beam, but comes back very nicely in the floor. A lot of nationally ranked vaulters in the Big 12. Let's check out Nebraska here. Michelle Zabawa.
And they all do great Yurchenko full twist. There's one, 9.85.
Well, the Huskers are tough as a team, especially in the vault. Stephanie Carter's ranked 23rd in the country.
And they just seem to get better every time. Look at that, beautifully stretched out, opens up for the landing.
And a 9.85 for Stephanie Carter. And the Huskers have 2 of the top 3 ranked vaulters in the nation. This is the freshman, Emily Parsons.
And they are powerful. Hang on. She sees that ground coming. I can't believe she doesn't stick it, but a good score, 9.9.
So the freshman a 9.9. How about Rochelle Simpson, the senior, ranked 2nd in the country?
And she has scored a 10 on this. She's great, beautiful form. Almost sticks the landing, just a small hop backwards.
And a 9.9 for Rochelle Simpson. We're through 3 rotations, the 4th and final rotation when we come back to Norman. On campus, University of Oklahoma, the students getting a bit feisty here. This is more like it, a friendly game of Frisbee on a spring day in Norman where we are kicking back and taking it easy and taking in some Big 12 women's gymnastics. We're through 3 rotations, and John Roethlisberger, the Huskers, have taken control.
The top-ranked Huskers are going to make it really tough on anybody catching them in the last rotation, putting some distance between themselves and the rest of the field.
Nebraska, Iowa State, Missouri, and OU, and after 3 rotations and the individual all-around, it's a couple of Huskers leading the way.
Yeah, and not surprisingly, Rochelle Simpson on the top. Emily Parsons, a little bit of a surprise right at her heels. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out in the last rotation.
So it comes down to this, the 4th and final rotation. Iowa State moves over to the vault, Nebraska on bars, Missouri on beam, and the floor exercise is Oklahoma's. Well, Nebraska has not only been led by Rochelle Simpson, but it's the freshman Emily Parsons trying to match her elder teammate.
And Nebraska really is in control of their own destiny. If they perform up to their capabilities on this event, they should be coming home with a Big 12 championship. Beautiful. Big reverse hack, and just as I say that, big air on the low bar. She went the wrong direction, managed to stay on, but that is going to be a healthy deduction nonetheless. It gets a little sticky here. First girl up, opening the door just a tiny bit. You can't do that.
She had a big vault, but here on bars, Emily Parsons.
And here's a mistake. She goes the wrong way there. Her feet hit the ground. You can see the form break. That's going to cost her at least 2 or 3 tenths. And at this point in the competition, you cannot afford 2 or 3 tenths.
Steve Nuno, the veteran coach, with Jessica Kinder, the freshman on floor exercise, trying to come through out of Kansas City, Missouri. And Oklahoma needs some big scores in the floor exercise here in the final rotation.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be tight. You know, Nebraska did really well in the last rotation and established themselves here down the stretch. But, you know, OU finished on floor last year and won it. And I know that's in the back of their mind again tonight. Kinder, a good tumbler. Double tuck. Now, she is capable of a more difficult pass there. And again, this is what Nuno was talking about. He said it depends how close it is down the stretch on whether they're going to take chances. And I guess he feels it's close enough that they don't need to take unnecessary chances.
Oklahoma really fell off in the beam. So they need some big scores here in the floor exercise to get back into this thing.
So far, this looks good. Their first girl up did a great routine at a 9.775. They can build on that. They could move up. Very beautiful dance, beautiful execution. Toes are always pointed. They need every 10.
Jessica Kinder, one of 8 freshmen on this Oklahoma roster this year.
Another mistake there. That was supposed to be a combination pass front full to a front. Not only will there be execution errors, but also bonus errors on that. OU is digging themselves a hole they're probably not going to get out of, unfortunately, from the beam onto the floor exercise.
They got off to a big start in the first 2 apparatus, but not so after that.
Here's the last pass again. Here's the front full, and you can see her feet get out in front of her just a little bit too much. She was supposed to punch front out of that. Couldn't do it. And the hurdle to get back to the top spot for OU will probably be insurmountable unless Nebraska really opens the door for them on the uneven bars. And even with that first girl up, Emily Parsons, she had an error, but she still scored a 9.675. And that's not a terrible score, especially when you have a lead going into the last rotation.
Nebraska had the lead going into the last rotation. Dan Kindig's team has won 9 of the last 11 conference championships. He's in his 12th year at Nebraska. He welcomed back Rochelle Simpson this year. Of course, Simpson had the devastating knee injury a year ago, missed the Big 12 meet, and Rochelle Simpson is one who is anxious to get back to gymnastics this year.
I think when I got back this year, I enjoyed it so much more, especially preseason. You know, preseason's tough and preseason's hard, and it's bonding, and it's really right where you get your foundation for the year. And I know for a lot of people, preseason's not the best time. You know, season's what everyone's excited about. But for me, preseason was great just because I was back with the team and I was back practicing and training, so it was nice.
It's amazing when you can't train, that's exactly what you want to do is get back in the gym, and she has done it, and she's done it well.
Now on uneven bars here, Rochelle Simpson.
And she is great on this event. And Nebraska can put this away with just a couple more good performances. And she is just so much fun to watch. You can tell she is a step up from most all other girls in this competition. Every time her feet go together, her toes are pointed. Nice ganger, a little foot brake on the catch. Big dismount, double layout, sticks the landing, and it's one routine closer to Dan Kending's 10th Big 12 team championship.
Those Huskers are making some noise here in Sooner Country.
Here's another look at the double layout. Pikes a little bit at the beginning of it, but opens up, and you cannot land it much better than that.
Could it be an all-around title for Rochelle Simpson? A 9-9 on bars for the senior. All right, Alicia Robinson of Missouri. What a terrific meet she has had. She on the balance beam here, but Alicia Robinson, third in the all-around going into her final event right here.
And that is a great way for her to finish this competition. Missouri is out of the running most likely for the team championship unless something dramatic happens, but it would be great for her to finish with some individual accolades, and I know the rest of her teammates want to see that happen as well. Tough place to do it, though. The balance beam, a little wobble there.
Balance beam has not been Robinson's strongest event, but closing out a terrific career at Missouri. He was newcomer of the year or freshman year back in 2002. Now as a senior, the Bate City, Missouri native tries to close it out in style at the Big 12 meet.
The gainer layout step out, another small wobble on that. But she really has been the foundation of the Missouri team. Anytime you talk about Missouri, you talk about Alicia Robinson, and she has really helped carry that Missouri team a long way, and she's got a lot to be proud of.
She has quite a legacy there. All you have to do is look at the gymnastics media guide, and it's Alicia Robinson's name everywhere.
It's Alicia Robinson guide.
Just behind the two Nebraskans in the all-around, Alicia Robinson trying to finish strong here.
And also just ahead of a couple Iowa State gymnasts, and she wants to stay ahead of them. I don't know if that's going to be good enough, though. Iowa State's on vault. That's a good event for them. She's going to have a tough time staying in the top three, I believe. And here's a wobble, and you can see just a little bit those toes digging into the balance beam, managing to stay on. Take a look at the dismount. It's a gainer full, a little bit too far away from the beam. You want to land closer. It makes it easier to stick the landing, but she stuck it nonetheless. Good job from Alicia Robinson.
Still more of the Big 12 Women's Gymnastics Championships from Norman in a moment. Midway through the final rotation here at the Big 12 Women's Gymnastics Championships, and Ashley Cooney coming back from that high ankle sprain a month ago here in the floor exercise. Final rotation for the Sooners.
And you hear a high ankle sprain and you think, oh, she must have done, double back or landed crooked or something. Well, unfortunately, she stepped off the floor and stood on the slanted part of the floor and rolled her ankle. Not the way you want to get injured. Not that you want to get injured at all. But you can't tell right there. Beautiful double pike.
And this is her first floor exercise competition since she suffered that ankle injury in a duel at Iowa State a month ago.
Having a little bit of fun. Last rotation, might as well let it all hang out. Got a difficult combination pass coming up here. That's not it. 2.5 twist, and you can tell she was a little short on that. She might have actually watered down. She was supposed to do a punch front out of it. Again, maybe playing it a little bit conservative. Maybe the ankle's bothering her. Great amplitude on that leap. Front layout, an easy dismount for her. Nice finish.
Ashley Cooney from Plano, Texas.
Nice finish for Ashley. Unfortunately, I'm probably a little too late for OU. Take a look at this second pass again. 2.5 twist, extremely difficult. And I don't think she was planning on doing a punch front. You can see how she kind of put her arms out to the side and just trying to get to her feet. And the last pass, fairly simple pass for her. Layout, clean landing.
Ashley Cooney for the Sooners. As Casey Tamayo was the Gymnast of the Year last year and finished with a bang in the floor exercise to win the conference title for Oklahoma up in Des Moines, Iowa a year ago.
That was exciting. I'd like to see a Casey Tamayo Rochelle Simpson matchup myself. Unfortunately, we won't, but that would be a lot of fun.
Well, the Nebraska Cornhuskers in control through 3 rotations, and this is Christy Esposito, the second to last performer for the Huskers in the uneven bars.
She's got a unique routine. Stalter there to a front stalter. A little trouble on that handstand. You don't see a lot of girls do those stalter skills. They're extremely difficult. She's got the big double layout dismount as well. Little piked in the air and a small hop in the landing, but I think Nebraska senses that this championship might be wrapped up for them. Another look at this dismount. You can see how she just stays piked a little bit at the beginning, kind of opens up at the end. You want to be a little bit more stretched than that. But overall, not bad. She's got a smile on her face, and so does her coach.
A 9.725 for Christy Esposito in bars.
Not a great score, but definitely good enough for the Cornhuskers.
In this final rotation, the Iowa State Cyclones on the vault. Here's Aaron Detloff.
Difficult vault, half twist blind landing. Can't do it much better than that. They're pumped. 9.9, great start for Iowa State.
The third to last vaulter for KJ Kindler, and here is Laura K. Powell, the second to last vaulter.
And she's going to do the same vault. Again, blind landing. Again, done extremely well.
And then there's a sophomore named Janet Anson, who's ranked number 5 in the nation.
She does an extremely difficult vault as well. Yurchenko, full twist, actually can add a half twist to that, but doesn't need it. Adds another 9.9 for Iowa State.
Cyclones trying to make a run at the Huskers in this final rotation. The final performances of the night when we come back. Welcome back to the 2005 Big 12 Championships here at the Lloyd Noble Center in Norman, Oklahoma. Bill Jones along with John Roethlisberger into our final performers of the night. And this is Lauren Bunny Schwartzman for Missouri on beam, and she has been a top performer for Mizzou on beam.
Yeah, she is great on this apparatus. During her collegiate career, she has scored a 10-0 on this piece of equipment, and she is a lot of fun to watch. Ranked 10th in the nation right now, and you're going to see why in a moment.
And the defending Big 12 champion on this apparatus, too, is Bunny Schwartzman. Scored a 9.925 last year on it.
She looks like Barry Bonds with that arm thing on up there. I don't know what that's for exactly, but does not slow her down, as you're going to see in a moment. Does a very difficult combination here. Round off. Back handspring, layout, step out. Small wobble on the landing, but pretty good. She's smiling.
She looks like she has fun even on beam. It's one thing having fun while you're on floor exercise, but something like beam, I don't know about the smile.
Yeah, I know she can fake a smile now because there's no way she's having that much fun up there. Very difficult leap combination. Made it look easy. Double twist dismount. Perfect landing. I don't know if that's going to be good enough to defend her title, but it will be very, very close. Take another look at the dismount here. Can taste the finish. Round off onto the end, double full. And that is exactly how you like to finish your routine, with a perfect landing.
Yeah, she sticks it. Bunny Schwartzman, and the Tigers can expect her back next year as well. Steve Nuno, the head coach of the Oklahoma Sooners. And, boy, the career that Erin Labar has had, the Bartlesville, Oklahoma native, and what a difficult year it has been for Erin Labar. Her mom passed away in October. She was diagnosed with cancer less than a year ago. Just how difficult has it been for Erin Labar?
She absolutely loved gymnastics. She was really excited about my senior year. So, when I'm having a hard day, I'm just try and say, Mom wants me to do this. She would have wanted me to keep plugging at it and keep going. So she's the reason I stayed with it.
Erin Labar, final performance here in the floor exercise. How difficult it has been. And the amazing thing about Erin Labar, when she first returned to competition, her first meet of the year, she scored a perfect 10 on one apparatus. Erin Labar, right after her mom's funeral, and boy, Labar is able to perform in such difficult times.
That really is amazing, and gymnastics is tough enough when all you have to worry about is doing gymnastics. But when you have so many things in your life going on like that, I got to give her a lot of credit for being able to come back. And I know her teammates appreciate it too. It wasn't easy for her, and I know it wasn't an easy decision just to come back either. But I know her teammates are happy, and I know we're happy too, because it's a lot of fun to watch her. She's a great, great athlete. Great story.
And here in the floor exercise, she ranks 23rd in the nation. That perfect 10 score in the first meet of the year came in the uneven bars. She has been a consistent performer throughout her career. She's a senior and performing for the last time in front of her home fans.
And she really stepped into Casey Tamayo's shoes well. Coach Nuno was telling me she has only had one fall the entire season. Nice double back there. And she is in the hunt for the all-around. It'll be very interesting to see if she gets on the podium. Nice job, Erin.
Erin Labar, and a well-deserved hug from Steve Nuno, her coach.
Take another look at the dismount. Again, not a lot of girls doing double flipping dismounts. A little too much power, a little too much bounce on that landing. Took a little bit of a step, but shouldn't cost her much.
Erin Labar leading the way for the Oklahoma Sooners, and it's a 9-9 score in the floor exercise for Labar.
A great way for her to finish her Big 12 championships career.
All right, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. This is Desiree Snitinsky.
And this should just be icing on the cake for Nebraska. They have done enough to win a huge reverse hack from Desiree.
It's the final event of the night as the Huskers try to wrap up a Big 12 championship.
And you can hear it. They can taste it. Double layout.
And one of the freshmen that Dan Kindig talked about earlier in this meet comes through, Snitinsky on the uneven bars.
And there's the double layout, a little bit far away from the bar. You can see she had to take a step forward. But at that point, it's icing. Nebraska, the 10th conference championship for Coach Dan Kindig.
Snitinsky with a 9-8 score on bars. She had 5 first-place finishes this year on uneven bars. That's her specialty, and a reason that the Huskers may continue on dominating in the Big 12 like they have the last dozen years under Kindig. The final results of the Big 12 Women's Gymnastics Championships from Norman, Oklahoma, when we come back in a moment. The 2005 Big 12 Gymnastics Championships on FSN have been brought to you by SBC, by MBNA, and by Phillips 66. The 2005 Big 12 Gymnastics Championships have been staged here in Sooner Country, the Lloyd Noble Center in Norman, Oklahoma, but there's a definite Nebraska flavor. The final team standings look this way as the Huskers are back on the winning track in women's gymnastics. They win. Iowa State finishes second, Oklahoma in third, and Missouri in fourth. Meanwhile, the individual all-around final numbers, Rochelle Simpson, the senior from Nebraska, comes back and gets the all-around title just like she did 2 years ago. Erin Detloff of Iowa State tied with Laura K. Powell, a fellow Cyclone, in second. Erin Labar, the senior from Oklahoma, in fourth. And freshman Emily Parsons of Nebraska in fifth. John Roethlisberger is down on the floor with the winning Huskers.
Thanks a lot, Bill. I am on the floor with the all-around champion, Rochelle Simpson. Rochelle, you had a disappointing year last year with the injury. How much more satisfying is this because of that injury?
It feels great. I mean, there's no way to explain how I feel right now, but I mean, I'm so happy and so thankful for this team this year. They are what have made this year worth it, really. Just the whole thing, you know, for everything leading up until this point. I mean, it's been worth it just because of the girls and the team and just how we've bonded and how hard we've worked and everything.
You have about 1 month left of your collegiate career. If you could write the script for the last part of your career, how would it end?
You know, I think, to me, I just want to go out and contribute to my team as best as I possibly can and go out there every meet and do my best. I mean, that's all I can expect of myself and my teammates, and that's what I want to do.
Well, congratulations and good luck the rest of the way. Well, Coach, how important has this kid been to your team this year and over the last few years?
it's really hard to measure. I mean, when you're talking about probably the best athlete that's ever been to your school, top to bottom, and what she brings to the team, and especially this year after last year going through an injury and coming back this year and being able to provide the leadership we've got a very young team outside of her and our other senior, and she's just been instrumental. And just to come back and as strong as she's ever been right now, it means just so much. And we're going to enjoy the rest of the season. I'm not even going to think about not having her. We're just going to enjoy what we have left.
Well, that kind of brings me to my next question. This is your 10th conference championship. You've had an amazing tenure, but will your career be complete if you don't win a national championship?
No. The team just, over the years, have worked so hard. And it's been a process, as you know, when you're in this. A team's just never going to show up at the Nationals and win a national championship. And it's been a process. It's been a process of each year kind of getting on the map, getting your foot in the door. And I just want to be the next team. You know what I mean? There's been 4 teams that have won this total. I want to be that 5th team somewhere down the road. And if these athletes keep working as hard as they have, who knows how soon that might be.
Well, enjoy this championship and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you so much.
Back to you, Bill.
John, the Huskers win their 10th conference title in 12 years, and it was definitely a team effort. Michelle Zabawa wins in the uneven bars.
Yeah, fantastic double layout dismount, knocking off a couple Sooners there, too. I know the Cornhuskers will be proud of that.
So that's one individual title for the Huskers. Meanwhile, in vault, Missouri's Alicia Robinson comes through again.
Again, repeating as a vault champion, and a great way for her to finish her Big 12 career.
And speaking of the team effort of the Nebraska Cornhuskers, it was the freshman Emily Parsons and the senior Rochelle Simpson tying for first in the beam.
And what's amazing about that is they started on the balance beam, and it's always tough to score big on the first event, and they had the 2 highest scores.
And in floor exercise, it was Simpson once again for Nebraska, a repeat winner. She also won in 2003. And Janet Anson, a sophomore from Iowa State.
Yeah, Simpson was sensational on floor, and I'm a little surprised. Anson watered down that routine, yet she still had enough to tie for the first spot.
And the gymnast of the year, Erin Labar, the senior from Oklahoma, the newcomer of the year, Emily Parsons from Nebraska, the coach of the year, KJ Kindler from Iowa State. But it's the Nebraska Cornhuskers who are Big 12 champions once again. Thanks for joining us here for the Big 12 Women's Gymnastics Championships. For John Roethlisberger, I'm Bill Jones.